Well, there continues to be a lot of mixed reaction to the CFL's plan to change some of the rules to Canada's game. Changes include shortening the football field, modifying the rouge, and shrinking the end zones from 20 to 15 yards, plus a 35-second automatic reset on the play clock. For some perspective on these changes, I'm joined by longtime University of Manitoba Bisons head coach Brian Dobie. Brian, thank you so much for coming in today.
You bet, my pleasure.
So, I mean, you arguably are probably one of the best people to talk to when it comes to changes to the game of football in our province. What is your take on these changes?
Wow. Biggest changes that I can ever recall. I coached for 50 years. I don't ever recall so many changes all in one mass sum. But quite honestly, I think there's two directions. Many of the more I've thought about it and talked to people, many of the rule changes I think are really going to be good. I really do. They have kept the integrity, the sacredness of the Canadian game by keeping the 3 downs.
Okay.
If they got rid of that, blasphemy, you know, that's key. But for example, the 35-second clock.
Yep.
If I was still coaching, I just retired, but if I was still coaching, I would applaud it. I think the officials will actually applaud it. I think it will at all levels. I hope that rule moves to university, where I came from, and of course to junior and high school. The field will be interesting. They talk about how it should result in a lot more scoring by moving the goalpost back. At the CFL level, I think it's a great move because kickers are hitting field goals nonstop. It's almost like they can't miss. They're so good now. I think that will generate more opportunities for touchdowns, but the 15-yard end zone will take away some of those opportunities. That's a pasture back there at 20 yards deep.
So I think one of the big questions I think people have is how will these rules at the CFL level have an impact down the line for leagues at the university level, for example, into the high school level? What's that trickle-down impact as we introduce some of these changes?
There is always a trickle-down impact, and it always is downwards. You know, I look at the years I've coached university football, and when the CFL would make changes, we would immediately deliberate their changes. Right. And then we would lobby, and sometimes we would make those changes within the year. Sometimes it would take 5 or 6 years, but they'll happen. Changing the fields is interesting. The size of the fields, it's very interesting, and the displacement or replacement of the goalposts, things like that. I'm trying to picture the Bisons playing next year at Princess Auto Stadium. So there's going to be costs eventually, sooner, you know, later than sooner probably, but there's going to be costs. There's going to be all kinds of implications that will affect officiating and the flow of the game. But it's a game, and we're not changing it to NFL rules, you know, by doing this. I think so many of the changes are good. I think when I talk to my friends, they all bring up the NFL, and they don't want us to be an NFL puppet.
So, that brings up a good point. What kind of reaction have you heard so far?
I'll call it mixed. A lot of it has been sort of the shock effect because so much happens so quickly. And I think the big fear is what I just suggested. So many people have talked to me about, you know, now we're going to be like the NFL. And the NFL is a boring game. You know, you hear that from a lot of Canadians. The CFL is got the game, and you know, everybody loves the return game, and that's going to change a little bit. There won't be returning of field goals for 115-yard touchdowns. But again, I think when you actually go through the rules, I think it's going to make the game an offensive game in Canada. It is an offensive game, not a defensive game. It's going to even make it more so an offensive game. And people that love football, like football, but don't, you know, they're not coaching.
They're
not
passive fans.
More passive fans. They love offense. They love seeing touchdown scores. They love hearing seeing fireworks go off when it happens, and it will generate more offense. There's no question about it. Again, the 3 down rules is everything, and I love keeping the width of the field. Shortening the field, no big deal. Shortening the end zone, it'll have more of an effect,
Okay.
even though it's only 5 yards. You'll be surprised. That will affect things a little bit, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. Brian Dobie, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Go CFL.